Hello, my name is Philip. Thank you for checking into my Common English Errors video. Let us begin. Today we'll speak about 10 common errors that English learners make, starting with number 1, confusing verbs and collocations. A verb is often added when no verb is needed, and the verbs that are most often missed out are have and take. Let's examine the 3 sentences below. I want to learn them to ride a bicycle. I think that it is easier to make activities in a group. This government has decided to make sure that all households get internet at home. All 3 are wrong. Let's look at the following sentences one by one. I want to teach them to ride a bicycle is correct. A parent would teach a child to ride a bike, and a child would learn from the parent. I think that it is easier to do exercises in a group. This is correct. We always do an exercise rather than make one. You can make a cake, but not an exercise. This government has decided to make sure that all households have internet at home. This is correct. We have internet rather than get internet. Okay, let's have a recap here. I want to teach them to ride a bicycle. I think that it's easier to do exercises in a group. This government has decided to make sure that all households have internet at home. The second error are common spelling mistakes. These words are spelt wrongly frequently by learners of English. Which, company, advertisement, future, tomorrow, comfortable, interesting, beginning, very, and address. Let's look at each one. Which has a silent H. Because of this, many learners miss out the H when writing. Company has NY at the end instead of GNY. Advertisement has an E after the S. Future has an E at the end of the word. Tomorrow has 2 R's in the middle. Comfortable uses an M instead of an N. Interesting has only 1 R and not 2. Beginning has 2 N's and not 1. Very has 1 R and not 2. And address has 2 D's and not 1. Okay, let's look at error number 3. This is about run-on sentences. Run-on sentences, often referred to as fused sentences, happen when 2 separate sentences or ideas are joined together without using a suitable conjunction or the proper punctuation, such as a full stop or a semicolon. Run-on sentences can be short or long. Look at the following 2 examples. Leela enjoyed the bouquet of tulips John gave her on prom night, however, she prefers roses. That's a bad sentence. The next one. Leela enjoyed the bouquet of tulips John gave her on prom night. However, she prefers roses. That's excellent because these are 2 separate things. Leela enjoyed the tulips. She prefers roses. These are 2 separate ideas completely. So therefore, we have a semicolon after prom night. A long sentence isn't always a run-on sentence. To avoid run-on sentences, check if there is more than one idea communicated by 2 or more independent clauses in a sentence. In our example below, there are 2 complete sentences because there are 2 separate ideas. Let's read it. Susan enjoyed the flowers John gave her on Valentine's Day. She prefers chocolates. You see, these are 2 separate things. Okay, the 4th error is the use of prepositions. Preposition errors may depend on verbs, nouns, or adjectives, either before or after the preposition, shown in bold below. So there are a lot of patterns to learn. Let's look. We decided to go to England to a town called Brighton. This is correct. Not in a town called Brighton. When we go somewhere, we go to London, to Brighton, to Brazil, to New York. It's always to. At first, they were on good terms with each other. If you are in good terms, that is wrong. If you're on good terms, that is correct. To be successful at something is to have a passion. We never say to be successful in, it is always at. Okay, the fifth most common error is the wrong use of different similar nouns such as travel, trip, advertisement and advertising, home or house, etc. as shown in the image. If you compare the cost of advertising, it is nearly the same. That is correct. My father added his own personal ideas to my upbringing. That is correct. Okay, the sixth one is not remembering to include all the determiners. Okay, determiners, these are words like the, an, and, also, my, your, their, etc. Determiners are a major problem for languages in the Eastern Hemisphere, which tend not to use a word like the. They are hard to remember as there may be more than one in a sentence, as shown below in bold. Let's read them. I called him to ask about fixing the TV. The National Art Gallery and the river trip to Greenwich would please them. I think it's a good idea for us to find a job together. Okay, the seventh error, this one is very important. I have noticed over the years many of my students make this mistake. Since most learners try to translate a sentence to English from their native language, they end up adding double negative while speaking out. This is wrong. For example, we say, I don't know nothing. This means that we know something. But the correct version is, I don't know anything. You cannot have two negative words in the one sentence. The negative word here is don't, so the next word has to be anything rather than nothing. Okay, the eighth error is using comparatives and superlatives together. The use of two comparatives or superlatives together, well, a sentence must not have two superlatives or comparatives together. For example, we say, this could never have turned out to be more better. Here, better is the comparative of the adjective good, and more is the comparative of the adjective much. The correct sentence, therefore, is, this could never have turned out to be better. Okay, the ninth error, again a super common mistake, is the use of the third person. In English, the verb changes only in the third person, he, she, or it. For example, I like flowers. You like flowers? We like flowers. They like flowers. He, she, it likes flowers. English learners often forget to add an S to the end of verbs in the present tense. It is easy to forget to add the S to verbs for the third person, since this is the only time we do this in English. Make it a point to talk about your friends, your family, even your pets. The more you correctly use this form of the verb, the more comfortable you will become with its form, and the fewer mistakes you will make in the future. Lastly, possessive pronouns, number 10. Possessive pronouns show that something belongs to someone. The possessive pronouns are my, our, your, his, her, its, and their. There's also an independent form of each of these pronouns, mine, ours, yours, his, hers, its, and theirs. Example of possessive pronouns sentences are shown below. Her cat is friendlier than my cat. Her and my are possessives. The man is wearing his blue hat. His is a possessive. The blue hat belongs to the man. Well, that's the end. Thank you kindly for watching. Do check out my other videos, and have a wonderful rest of your day.